as a mom, you know, you just think you're doing the best thing that you can for your kid because you love them and you want to, you know, just do what's best for them.
I didn't want to be here anymore.
I have her medical records from her very first, before the day that she got her Gardasil vaccine, and she had a clean bill of health. I mean, you know, the kid ate healthy, the kid was super muscular.
I'm very lightheaded, I'm very tired.
POTS.
Yeah, I have POTS, and then sometimes I have like microbursts of seizures and stuff like that. So it just makes me like really tired, so I pretty much just stay in bed whenever that stuff happens. And I get nauseous.
You just always think that nobody would ever lie to you or not tell you, or, you know, the adverse reactions are real and they're life-changing. I'm Jennifer Young.
And you are?
Ed Young.
Ed Young. And you are?
Liesa Young.
And how old are you?
I'm 18 years old.
Okay, and this is a Gardasil story.
Yes.
About what happened to you. Okay, so let's go right back to what you were like before you took this shot or shots.
Extremely active. I mean, if you talk about a sport that you could probably do, this child could do it and do it well. She was playing soccer, basketball, gymnastics, softball, you name it.
All of it.
She could do it all and do them all from practice to practice in one day. I mean,
So you were doing sport all the time?
Yep, all the time. From whenever I woke up to when I went back to bed.
Okay, and so what made you take the Gardasil shot? What happened?
Well, I gave it to my oldest daughter, and then gave it to my son, because at the time they were just like, this is going to help your child from getting the HPV virus, you know, and it was going to, and I was like, okay, it's going to help keep them from getting cancer. As a mom, I was like, you know, you want to do everything that you can for your kid. And so I was like, okay, yeah, go ahead, give me that.
And just out of interest, so your first daughter had it,
Yes.
and then your son had
then
it.
my
Why
son.
did they say why a boy should have it?
At the time, I'd given it to my first one, and she was like, well, he better get it too, because I got it. I mean, that's what he said before we left. And so we left, and we started with him, which he had reactions to, but of course we didn't realize it at the time.
What kind of reactions did he have?
Well, I went back and I called the doctor to line everything up, because of course at first we didn't realize, you know, exactly what was going on with her when hers was so severe. But he had the third round on Monday, and by Friday he was hospitalized with gastroparesis. And he was like that for 6 weeks, but they did give him medicine, and they were also concerned because he went from the 95th percentile to the 5th percentile of body weight. So they gave him medicine, and he grew like you would not believe. And the stomach, he still has stomach issues, but nothing like, I mean, that time his stomach just would not work. So he just, you know, couldn't eat anything.
So what's the age gap between you and your brother?
We're 2 years apart.
So did you get a shot at the same time as him, or how did that work?
No, that's my middle son.
Mm-hmm.
My middle son got it, and then 2 years later,
Yeah.
she got it. And
Okay.
of course I didn't realize at the time.
So you had your first Gardasil shot, and did they take a history of your health before they did? Did they do anything or warn you about any side effects that could happen?
No.
Did have a clean
Oh,
bill
yeah.
of health when she got the first one.
Yeah, I have her medical records from her very first, before the day that she got her Gardasil vaccine, and she had a clean bill of health. I mean, you know, the kid ate healthy, the kid was super muscular, and, you know, and everything, and had a complete clean bill of health that day.
Did you take any other shots that day, or just the Gardasil?
Yeah, whatever shots were recommended at that time. I mean,
So it wasn't just the Gardasil she took that day?
no.
You don't know what they were?
I probably have it in my records.
Be interesting to hear what else you
Oh
had that
yeah,
day.
I mean, if you want to see them, I have them in my records.
Okay, so you took the first shot, and how did you feel, or shots, and how did you feel after that first round?
After that, like, sports just weren't the same. Like, I couldn't breathe very easily. I was tired. I just wasn't motivated to, like, do anything pretty much. But it wasn't, like, as bad as whenever we had, like, I had the second one.
Okay, so you even though you weren't feeling well, you did still go back and get another one?
Yeah,
And-
we weren't sure, like, what
We
was
didn't
causing
realize.
it.
Yeah.
No, of course not.
Mhm.
And did you also just have the Gardasil on the second one, or did you have other shots as well?
I think the second one was just Gardasil.
Just Gardasil,
Yes.
okay. And what happened after that?
After that one, I was pretty much just sleeping like all the time. I couldn't really like do anything. I was tired all the time. I was nauseous. I was lightheaded,
We
and
thought you had the flu.
yeah.
We left the doctor's office, and about 30 minutes after we left the doctor's office, she said, I don't feel good. I'm like, all right, we'll go lay down, you know. But then the rest of the week, she didn't get out of bed. We thought maybe she got the flu from the doctor's office. But that turned into 2 weeks, and then turned into 3 weeks, and then other things just started happening. She started crying because her right leg, it just felt like pins and needles were in her leg, and she could hardly walk on it. Next thing you know, she was just blank stare. When you looked at her, all she was a blank stare, and it was like one eye was moving and the other eye wasn't moving. So we took her to the doctors repeatedly from that point on, and they went and did a is it an EKG? Is that what they? And they said that it looked like she was having microburst seizures. So from there, they sent us to Children's Hospital, where we had all the electrodes connected to her head, and they did the flashing in her face, and that's when she had a reaction. But they were calling it microburst seizures, and they put her on seizure medication at that point.
Yeah. They put me on like a lot of different medications, and they all just had side effects like really quickly to me.
And that's the point. If every good.
They thought she had Lyme too.
Yes, they thought she had Lyme.
Who's they?
disease.
Which
The doctors.
doctors?
doctor.
At the
We just
hospital?
kept taking her back.
Yeah.
She
Um,
was back multiple times for
A lot.
different things.
Her period stopped completely. From that day on, it quit completely. And like I said, we didn't realize at first. We let her take doxycycline. We let her get on the birth control pill to restart her periods. We let her take the seizure medication, but each one of those had their own side effects, including that they told her she was basically crazy, and they put her on antidepressants.
And you took
that-
all of this? You took all of the medication they gave you?
Yeah, but I don't think I took it for very long.
No.
Because I would just get side effects like really quickly.
really quickly.
And did at any point any of these doctors ask you about vaccines or anything like that? No.
Mhm.
Never. It wasn't till about 9 months after the second vaccine that our chiropractor said, hey, I know a friend whose daughter had similar things to your daughter who had the HPV vaccine. And I was like, oh. And I was like, well, I'm sure it wasn't that. Why would the doctor, give her something like that? And then I was like, wait a minute. That's when I got all of her records. It was the very day. And within 30 minutes, the following day, we were calling the doctor's office. This kid doesn't feel good. A week later, we were calling the doctor's office.
Not
And
to mention the time before she got sick afterwards too.
right, right after the first one, which we didn't realize.
And your son had got sick.
Yeah.
My son had gotten sick, and that's when I called and was like, when did he have it? When did, you know what I mean? Because they were like, she has gastroparesis because her stomach wasn't working. Everything she ate, she threw up. So they put her on Prilosec and whatever it is for throwing up. But that made her sick and made her sicker. Everything she took, if there was a side effect to any medicine, she got it. Including the
She has to watch what she eats now. She can't have no dairy. She's
allergic.
Yeah.
sensitive to gluten. She used to be my ice cream eating buddy, and now she can't do that
Yeah,
anymore.
Right, so what is it like today? What are your, you've obviously got some help.
Yeah, because before, she had to help me to the bathroom and stuff like that for 6 months before, and I quit school and everything like that because I couldn't go to school, so I kind of just couldn't do sports, couldn't do anything. But now, obviously, I just graduated school, but I went to school, I got back into school, got back into sports. I still have bad days, but some days are good, some days are bad, just depends on the day. Most people think I'm fine, but in the morning, that's normally when it's worse, so I know to either just stay home and just sleep, or whenever I do go out, I just gotta be careful and just but
And when you say it's worse, describe the feelings, what you're going through.
I'm very lightheaded, I'm very tired.
POTS.
Yeah, I have POTS, and then sometimes I have microbursts of seizures and stuff like that. So it just makes me really tired, so I pretty much just stay in bed whenever that stuff happens. And I get nauseous.
Have the school and your friends, did they support you?
Yes. Yes, I had a whole bunch of people texting me today and be like, good luck. And I'm like, oh, love you all.
It's so important that you're talking about this. Can we see some of these records that you've got?
Yeah, I mean, whatever you would like to see, I have them.
Do you have her vaccine records? I'd be really interested to know what you got that first Gardasil shot visit.
Let's see. HPV, I believe. Oh no, actually, I was wrong. On August 24th, all she had was the HPV. And on January 19th, all she had was the HPV.
So, undeniably.
Undeniably. Yeah, like, let me just double check, because I never want to lie about anything. Nope, that's the
And
only
look at
two
that,
things.
with all due respect, I mean, is this your shot
This is
record?
hers, yes.
My goodness.
This is
You
page
have-
one.
You've had a lot
Yes.
of vaccines. You've had chickenpox vaccine, you've had Prevnar, 1, 2, 3, 4 Prevnars.
And the flu mist. Even the flu.
Wow.
So,
You are lucky to be alive.
Yes, yes.
And then this page is the HPV, the influenza, the meningitis, and the other
Meningitis,
detail.
another detail. Okay, so question to you all. Are we done with vaccines?
Oh my goodness.
I was never a fan to begin with, honestly.
No, he wasn't. And as a mom, you know, you just think you're doing the best thing that you can for your kid because you love them and you want to, you know, just do what's best for them. But, you know, you just always think that nobody would ever lie to you or not tell you, or, you know, the adverse reactions are real and they're life changing. But, now, no, she's never had another one since. My family hasn't. My grandchildren are not vaccinated. And I have at least 8 other babies now that are in our community that have not been vaccinated because of us and me being vocal. And I have multiple families who reached out to me and were like, you know, what vaccine was that she got? And I'm like, the HPV, you know, and they're like, okay, because I don't want to get that for my daughter. And I'm like, it's not just that vaccine. It's not just that vaccine. An adverse reaction can happen with any vaccine. So they quit vaccinating their children because of her.
Even being like around people that have like vaccines, I get like side effects with it too.
From the shedding.
You can feel it when someone's been vaccinated.
Yeah, I get really sensitive spots and I can't even like wear like shirts or anything like that because like it just hurts to even touch, so I just go to bed.
That's really interesting because I think that's what a lot of kids that are nonverbal with autism from a vaccine injury, I think that's definitely what they have. Can you describe that a little bit?
It,
You're gonna tell your
like-
eye story.
yeah. So this one kid, like, he kissed me when I told him no because he just got his vaccine, and I normally had like the sensitive spots like on my like lower stomach and like ribs and stuff like that, but this was like the first time I had it like on my face. So I texted her because I was in school and I was like, my face like is like on fire, like I cannot touch it, like I don't know, like I just need to go home. So then I get home and she's like looks at me and she's like, is it the left side of your face? And I was like, yeah, how'd you know that? And she's like, your eye's not moving.
Literally, it was the creepiest thing as a mom. She's talking to me, you know, just talking away, and this side of her face is like paralyzed. Like, it was not moving. The eye was not moving, and she's just talking. Her lips are like semi-moving on this side. Her cheeks, you know, your eyebrows, you know, as you're talking, and this side of her face, her eye was not moving. It was the creepiest thing I've ever witnessed, you know, of all the things that we went through with carrying her down the hallway just to get her to the bathroom because she was throwing up every morning because her stomach wasn't working, and then she would like seize or pass out in the bathroom, and I would just catch her and down on the floor and put a towel under her head till, you know, her twin brother's brushing his teeth and she's like stepping over her because he still had to go to school, you know, because he didn't have the HPV vaccine.
So your twin brother did not get it?
No.
He's like very scared of needles.
So he cried and screamed that day because I was going to get it for him too.
It's very traumatic for you guys as parents and the siblings to see your daughter in that state, and the emotion and the trauma that it causes.
Yeah.
it doesn't just affect you, it affects so many people around you that love you. And I don't think that people really understand that because
I mean, like, I've been blessed to be a stay-at-home mom, and take care of her, because I mean, it was a lot for the first probably 3 years. It was a lot, just helping her and, helping her to the bathroom, and then, checking her blood pressure that was so low that it wasn't even funny, and it was a lot. And then the guilt as a parent for, doing this to your child, which she tells me all the time, Mom, I don't blame you. You thought you were doing what was best. So, I'm sorry.
So all the Gardasil girls that I interview, like you, they all say that at some point medical professionals say, it's in your head, and that's very hurtful when you're really in pain. So talk me through what that was like. Who said that, maybe it's in her head?
Her doctor was like, it's just in her head. She's stressed out, and this is her body's way of dealing with the stress. And, because her period stopped. And like I said, I mean, I have her DNA.
Are they back now, your periods?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
But we've detoxed. I mean, we have gone holistic through all of
She
this.
changed a lot of eating habits and
Yeah.
seen some.
Because all the pills that the doctors were giving her were not making her better. They were making her sicker because she was having side effects. And once we realized that this was Gardasil, we changed everything. And that's when my baby started to heal. Was when we went the holistic route, and we're always trying, new things. And like I said, I have right down to her DNA in my file that she has the MTHFRG. Not that I have it all.
Are you off all the medication now?
Mm-hmm.
All seizure medication, everything?
Yeah. The seizure medication was not. It was bad.
Yeah.
So now she knows what her triggers are. She knows, to go to haunted houses, whoever girlfriend that she goes with, she knows that she has to close her eyes and
Or my brother carries me through it.
So it's flashing lights
Brother?
and things.
Yeah.
her brother carries her.
So you still have seizures?
Yeah. I don't really have like many full-blown ones. They're kind of just like, I'm just like zoned out. But like, if you're talking to me, like, I can still like acknowledge you. I might not say anything back, or my speech might be like
Slurred.
Yeah. But
And what have you found, not that Children's Health Defence gives any medical advice out, but what have you found food-wise and everything that's been the best help for you?
I mean, he grows our like vegetables and stuff like that, so I think
Our own cow.
but not all, most of them.
Yeah.
I feel like that just
So
all
organic?
natural,
Yeah, we've been blessed to be able to have our own half cow that we raised, and a nice big huge garden. But of course we buy organic, and she stays away from gluten and dairy. She cannot have dairy. She'll have a reaction.
Really?
And she ate it all the time before.
What is your advice to people your age that were like you? They don't know. They're just going
say,
in.
like, just don't get it. Like, you can obviously like tell other people have had reactions. You may or may not have a reaction, or even if you do have a reaction, you're like, oh, that's not from it. I would say just don't get it. It's better off not to.
This story is awful, but if there's any good that's come out of this, listening to your mom talking about those grandchildren that have had no shots. I always say that we need to, you and my son Billy and all the other people with names on the bus, you guys have saved so many, woke us up to the dangers of vaccines and shots and stuff.
Yes.
So really thank you to you for taking one for the team, to waking us all up.
Yes.
We need to look after you.
She's truly a really good kid.
I can see that.
Yeah, she is. So, like I said, all she wants in life is to, get married and, and have kids. Some things that people take for granted, everybody just goes and plays sports and goes off to, college and does whatever they want. And she,
I took it for granted before, so I was right with them.
What do you want to be? What's your sort of dream profession?
I'm going to be an esthetician and makeup artist, and right now
You're going to be a what? Say that again.
Esthetician and makeup artist.
A makeup artist.
And right now I am a permanent makeup artist, and then I'm going to school for esthetician and regular makeup. So
Non-toxic,
eyebrows.
please. Organic. Yeah. Well, that's wonderful. And you're in a much better place, even though you still have these issues.
Yes.
It's a good profession for her because she can make her own schedule and everything. So it's definitely changed the path that she's been on.
Yeah.
And, you know, having her periods again, hopefully she can have kids because she was in premature ovarian failure. We had her tested when her periods quit. So, you know, now that she's having her periods again, she hopes someday to, you know, have her own kids. But
So, to someone that could be watching right now that is suffering in having had either Gardasil or any shot, in fact, what would your advice be to them if they're feeling very low and feeling like they're, you know, maybe not going to get through? What would you say to them?
Definitely, like, family is, like, you always gotta stay close to them, because, like, even, like, some of my friends, they kind of just, like, dipped. They just didn't stay around because I couldn't do anything because I was just in bed, but they are always there for me. God's always there for you. Like, just, it's better to stay here than off yourself. Like, I was like, I didn't want to be here anymore, but I ended up.
Okay.
I talked to them, and they helped me through it, and church family helped me through it. It's just, you're gonna get through it.
Will you give so much hope to so many people, and we're truly sorry that this happened to your family, and thank you for telling your story. It's just a brave thing to do, to drive all the way out here and tell us about it. And you're a very beautiful, wonderful young woman, and I look forward to I think you're going to speak more on this. And we look forward to having our nails done and our eyebrows done.
I had mine microbladed 2 months ago.
I think we need to set up a directory of people that we love in this movement and support you all. But thank you. Does there anything else? Would you like to say anything?
No, I was just appreciative that you guys do this and let other people know.
Yeah, we're going to let everybody know. We're going to put your story right on out there. Thank you. You're a wonderful family. And thank you for telling us this story.
I'm happy you had us.